I was on a serious time crunch and I just wanted to turn the camera on. We are about to make the most beautiful New York strip steak I've ever touched. 20 minutes is all you need for this deliciousness. Audra Sinet with Cooking Couture Atlanta, where cooking is sexy. Hey, this is Audra with Cooking Couture Atlanta, and I am about to make a really nice steak. Look at this. It's beautiful. It has a lot of amazing marbling in it. And I am about to make this steak in this cast iron skillet, like, real quick. Like, I'm really on the time limit. Like, I'm on some kind of cooking show or something. I'm going to rinse this off. I'm going to get this hot. I'm going to put this butter in here. I feel like I'm on a cooking show here. All right, nice piece of meat. I'm going to marinate it with some Worcester. All right, I'm putting the Worcester sauce on first. Make sure it's a really thick piece of meat, so I want to make sure it gets all on there. I'm putting this garlic powder on. I'm getting it on the, look at that. That is a nice piece of meat. This is a New York strip from the Buckhead Beef Company. All right. Ground black pepper. The skillet is heating up. Then I'm going to put this tequila lime seasoning on it. All right, then I'm gonna put a little salt, kosher salt. Stick it in there. I'm gonna cut up some garlic. And put in that butter. That's some real garlic butter for you right there. I love doing the one skillet thing. I'm going to peel these potatoes. I try to make each slice about the same width and dimension so that they can cook at the same time. Then I add them to the skillet. The person that I'm cooking for doesn't really like onions and peppers. I got the garlic in there. I got the potatoes in there. I'm going to put a little more Worcester sauce over the steak. I really wanted to have some flavor, but this is such a good piece of meat. I want you to be able to really taste the meat. Then I'm going to put a lid over it and let it simmer. I want that steam and the heat to really do the cooking. I'm going to let it set. Then I'm going to put it in the oven with a little foil over the cast iron skillet. And then I'm going to do these lobster tails. I got some really nice lobster tails. And I'm just going to put a little seafood seasoning on it, some dill seasoning on it, and of course some butter, which makes it better. I'm going to clean it with the lime so it's going to get the citrus that it needs. Okay, to do the lobster tails, take your kitchen utility scissors, turn the lobster tail over, and cut down the middle. Try to stay away from the meat if you can, and then just crack it open. You want to cut those legs off and the tendons. You really just save the lobster shell for plating and decoration, but you're really going to dislodge the meat from the lobster tail, because when you season it and cook it, you want people to be able to eat it well. Presentation is everything, but eating is more important. You want them to enjoy it. So I melted half a cup of butter. I'm going to season it, pour the butter over it, put more seasoning on it, put it in the oven. It's going to cook for like 15 minutes. The last 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to broil it just because I want it to look like it maybe was on the grill or something. But this meat is just so succulent and tender, and it's so meaty. These are some amazing lobster tails. Okay, so we're going to turn the lobster tail over and cut down the middle of the shell all the way to the tail. And then you're going to set the meat up on top of the lobster tail. And you can tell about when it's done by the color of the shell. But yeah, you're going to pull it out, and the plating and everything is going to be beautiful. And don't forget your parsley. I do want a little parsley on this. It kind of sets it off and makes it look really good. Okay, remember, keeping the lobster shell is just for decoration. It's just for plating. It's just for this presentation effect. You know, presentation is everything. If you want to just take the lobster meat completely out of the shell and cook it by itself, you can do that. We're just really cutting this lobster shell, setting the lobster meat up on top, just so it looks good. We're going to cut this right down the middle. Break that open. You cut these legs off. Cut all this off. Yeah, it came off. All in one. Take this down the middle, cut this down to the tail, put my fingers up under here, get this meat off. Look at that, nice lobster. Ooh. 25 minutes max, you can have the most amazing gourmet meal. I beg you not to overcook it. You don't need to cook it long. The steak or the lobster, the succulentness is everything. Okay, I got this seafood seasoning that I'm going to season with it generously. Do it with your Old Bay, whatever. Then my dill. I'll put the dill over here. I'm going to put Rotel on it. I seriously feel like I could just put Rotel on anything and make it work. Right. And then butter, Rotel. I mean, you just totally can't go wrong. You know, we eat with our eyes first, so let's just make sure it looks delicious. Put this butter over there. Look at that. Can you see that butter over there? I'll put this. 25 minutes max, you can have a high quality gourmet restaurant meal right at home. Do it for the people you love. Presentation is everything. We eat with our eyes first, but this was scrumptious. I did it to them in their mouth. like, subscribe, and share. Let's make it happen.